As we go in, turn off the music. We are loading in. We do have Copper Collectors on the defense side. For Hidden City CBL, we do have GTD on the attacker side. Looks like we are doing a good normal lineup. A lot of bastard swords, a lot of short swords, 2 long swords on the attacker side with a chain dart and a long bow as well. Hello, kitty cat. Please get off. Looking like Copper Collectors is going to be doing a full-on tower hold. They do have the Great Bombard that will really help them with defending the towers. Nothing crazy in lineups looking like here. A lot of modals being had, not favoring the Phalanx as much as Lions preferred the Phalanx in that previous matchup versus Warriors. So a little bit more of the modal. Spartans being had, Zealots being had. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary by either team here as we go into this. Looks like we have gone fully into cannons from Copper Collectors, not using the culverins, and a full mortar spam by GTD. It'll be a little bit interesting here. I'm going to expect to see a tower hold by Copper Collectors. They do have the comets, they do have the cannons. I believe the cannons are a little bit tankier of an artillery piece compared to culverins, so that is maybe why they are bringing cannons over culverins. Yes, Ozzy W. This is all best of one, so this is first match. This is the only match we will see of these two teams fighting. We have missed Warriors versus Lions, but that is okay. That match went to the term of Lions, so congratulations to them as we go into this matchup here. This is a tower hold map, but we might see Copper Collectors do something different. They did seem like they were in a artillery lineup for tower defense, but with purple artillery, GTD will be able to really handle the artillery, the cannons, and the comets pretty easily. So you'll see what GTD has cooked up in store for dealing with a tower denial lineup. Let me start my recording software so that is also recording, so we can go back into that, but I don't think we will have the time to go into that. As we start in, let me get on red team, free camera. This will take a little bit of time. GTD does have 11 minutes on the clock. Copper Collectors having a good amount of Zealots that allow to charge. They did bring double Falconetti and triple Javs. Let's check if those are green or purple. Does look like they are green Javs, so we do have triple green Javs on the side of Copper Collectors. Green Javs being basically your best for leadership Jav unit to break towers. Actually, just probably the best leadership for unit in general for breaking towers. We do have the cannons in the back here by Copper Collectors shooting at the tower. Let's get a little bit different of a camera angle. We do have the triple cannon back here as well as shooting at the tower along with the Falconetti gunners. Way out of range. Does look like that mortar might be able to hit these are top line Falcos as well, which is a little bit interesting. I do think I agree with having top line Falcos. This is a pretty far shot for the Falcos to try to be able to hit, so top line Falcos does make them a little bit more accurate when it comes to trying to hit the towers. This middle tower though looking fairly healthy. The side towers getting down pretty low here. We do have a bottom line Falco on the middle tower, but it does look like they are kind of struggling to break that middle tower there. As we continue on, let's increase the minimap size so we get to see the full perspective here. It does look like that middle tower is going to be landing. The side towers are at 1 HP, so we're not worried about them as much, but that middle tower is kind of sketch. We're getting close. It's at quarter. We do have a jumper goes down to jump onto it. We do have a short circle going on. We do have the flaming comet panic placed as well to deal with it, so Copper Collectors will break the first round of towers. Got probably a little bit scared there from both of them. From Copper Collectors, they do lose a Poleaxe in response there. Don't think the short sword went down, so only having one person die to stall the tower is not bad. Nope, they do have 2 people die to stall the tower, have the triple cannon in the back here as well to deal with that right tower. So it does look pretty good. We did defend the first wave of towers. They did lose a few of their javelins, a little bit of their lion warrior crew that is at the gate. Nothing too crazy that was lost though. As the second wave of towers now starts, we do now have a lot more damage on this middle tower than previously. Maybe a little bit more scared, really focused in on killing this tower, and now after, you know, that whole fiasco of getting so close. Good job there, covering for their weakness for the second rotation of towers. Side towers looking low. The gate is to around half, 3/4 HP, so it's a little bit closer. It does look like it was a good mortar hit on that green javu, down to 11 out of 30, now to 10 out of 30, so they are basically down a javelin unit, but they still have their falcos, they still have their cannons, so it's not too worried here. It looks like all the towers are back down to 1 HP. Hopefully they will save them as we go into this. And our green jav unit over here going down to 11. Just down to 11, not too bad, but we do have our Falco unit, our bottom line Falco unit down to 5 models, so they are definitely a little bit weaker. This left tower is getting a little bit close here. It is at 1 HP, so really only needs a slight graze and it will go down, but we have a cannon miss and it will go down there. Longsword climbs up the wall. Let me transition to a different red team's perspective so we don't have the block on our screen anymore. The longsword does climb, but he will go down. Second wave of towers has been destroyed. Copper collectors down to really only 1 jav unit and 1 falco unit remaining on their thing. They still have 3 falcos, but 3 falcos is not going to be able to do much in the grand scheme of things. Maybe like 12 balls will actually hit the tower. Not really what you're looking for from your falconetti gunners. It does look like they just got direct hit by trebs, but none of them die, so good job by the treb. Job by the falcos living through that mortar hit. To have a jav also very low. Now the falcos is down to 1 model, so those falcos are fundamentally out of the game. There's still this top line falco is actually living through a lot of mortar fire, able to really suppress that left side tower. This third wave of towers going down, 6 minutes on the clock for GTD to get these towers to land here. It does look like that middle tower will be going down pretty closely here, already down to about an 8 HP. So looking pretty good for copper collectors to defend. They do miss a cannon shot there, womp womp. Ooh, big mortar hit on the top line Falcos does get them down to 5 models. So this will be a little bit troublesome on that left tower for copper collectors, but it does look like they will be able to defend. Getting pretty close here. Right tower at 1 HP, middle tower 2 shots. Left tower though still pretty healthy, all things considered. It's about 3 shots. There goes the right tower. We might have to panic place a flaming comet to deal with this left tower. So it gets close, down to 1 shot. They are thinking of jumping there. We have 3 heroes there thinking of jumping. Middle tower also 1 HP. Hey guys, are we going to let it land? Are we going to break it? Hello, what's happening? Middle tower does land. Unfortunate misplay by copper collectors, was not able to break the tower. It is at 1 HP. They just did not have the jabs, maybe were on cooldown, or maybe something else. We just didn't have our musket there to hit it with something. We did not have our jabs there. It just left at 1 HP. We didn't even place a panic artillery piece, but it actually looks like we only had 1 person with artillery. No, 2 people with artillery piece left, and they just did not place the panic artillery. 5 minutes on the clock, 4.5 minutes on the clock, and copper collectors does look like they are trying to come back onto this A point and maybe defend it. As we go into this fight here, slowly walking up, the Treb is looking good onto the fight here. Treb comes in, getting big damage. Thank God they broke the overhang. Now I can actually see what's happening during this fight. Shields beat shields. Doesn't look like the Treb got that much of value in. It looks like we have still a full set of shoots and dingers. The fight rate is on, but this looks very in favor of GTD, having quite a bit more shields and a little bit healthier front line. The flaming comet shoots into the shoots and dinger, does not find many of them there, but it does get enough that the shoots and dinger rung away, and copper collectors not having the front line to really hold this anymore as GTD pushes them back down the stairs. We do have Reapers coming in a little bit late to the fight, a little bit too late to the fight to really be able to do anything there, but Cyberlanders is trying their hardest to get back into this fight, pulling as many units as they can. They do not want to lose this A point, as they are constantly throwing their units into this fight one by one. A little bit risky here of Copper Legends, so coming one by one, and they're going to just bleed out units, not having a good death ball to bring into that. They would find a few of the units of a GTD, and they are stalling that A point as long as they can, but without that, they are killing the GTD's units, so they are getting a little bit of the space back, but Copper Collectors is struggling to get back up these stairs, running out of units once again. GTD holding strong on the A point. Copper Collectors stalling as long as they can. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time. We do have the Zealots on the point there, with GTD having a good foothold, but they have 2 Modal and 2 Spartans, so it's going to be very hard for Copper Collectors to really get back on this point. To sally out with Liao's finding a good chunk of units, getting a good chunk of those Spartans and the Reapers, as Liao's just farm the units coming up the tower, but it does not look like it will be enough. It does kill a lot of the blob coming up. They're still doing a good amount of stall here on the short sword on the point there, but without units they will just slowly trickle die here. They're still trying to get up, getting a little bit of a footing there. We do get a Spartan unit. Does look like it will be able to make it there, but it does look that the hero potentially died, so that is just a X unit of Spartans trying to get on the point, and we all know how an X unit will perform. It just instantly folds, and there goes the A point. We are now going onto the B point for GTD, up by 400 units, actually by like more than that, even by 500 units, as they kind of steamroll through Copper Collectors here. Conqueror is doing a good job stalling, but they lost a lot of units to GTD here. Lost a lot of units to Lys Royale here. Now, see how they approach it. Copper Collectors of Lys Royale only having 4 minutes on the clock, so they got to be fairly fast here as they go transition to this B point push. Go over the deaths real quick. Copper Collectors having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 people on their last life already, or Lys Royale not having really any deaths. 3 people on their first death. So Lys Royale being very healthy here. Copper Collectors looking fairly weak. Oh, Arcadia looking fairly weak here. But there's only 3.5 minutes on the clock, so all they gotta do is stall. We do have a spear and shield a little bit too far forward. Doesn't get caught out as they now try to push forward into this blob. Copper Collectors were walking forward, but they don't have that much infantry here to stop Lys Royale from pushing out. Lys Royale placing 3 comments on a mortar to get good value, but Copper Collectors has their own flaming comments. Actually, there are 2 of the flaming comments that they saved for this exact occasion, doing amazing work getting into the back and midline of Lys Royale, killing most of the flaming comments. Only 1 flaming comment remaining there. The infantry is winning as Lys Royale actually gets pushing onto the main street there, forward onto the B point, but Copper Collectors is actually going to be able to get a stalwart unit into the gate to be able to plug it in, so they'll be able to surround the GTD as they push onto this B point. Let's get an overhead view here, because this fight is a little bit bigger than I want it to be. Fight goes on. The GTD has 2 sets of modals and fairly a good chunk of units, but Copper Collectors coming at the back with 2 sets of stalwarts, but the Liao's going into the back of the stalwarts and will clean up this flanking stalwart very quickly. Amazing play by GTD, getting those Liao's into the back of the stalwart unit of Copper Collectors. 2 minutes on the clock. Will Copper Collectors be able to stall this? They don't really have the units left. 457 units remaining, and a lot of people, their players are already on 2 deaths already, so it's going to be very hard for Copper Collectors to get back onto this point to be able to solve it. 2 minutes left on the clock. They have 11 people alive, but with 2 minutes and the B point looking very swarmed, it's going to be near impossible for Copper Collectors to really be able to stall this point out, as GTD getting to 3/4 cap. The Copper Collector's trying to get onto the point. Minute 40 left, but Copper Collectors just cannot get onto this point. There's just too much anti-cav just on every single side. We do have the Falconetti trying to do something here, but when you have 3 models, what can you really do with Falcons? Good stall by Copper Collectors. They are getting a good amount stalled in, but that is now 90%, and that will be a capture of the B point as we go to home. Only 2 Copper Collectors alive, 300 units remaining. How many people do they have out of the fight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 people out of the fight, and we have 6 people out of the fight. 4 minutes remaining. Only 200 units to the enemy's 1,000. This will be looking like ramps for Copper Collectors. Arcadia. That was pinged. Why was it? As we see of GTD coming onto the home point, Copper Collectors does not have the heroes, do they not have the units, they do not have anything, and they will fall. 3 minutes left remaining on the clock. A good game by GTD, doing a good clean hidden city attack. Just seemed like Copper Collectors did not have the infantry fight to go past the A point. Kitty cat, please. I understand I'm talking a lot. As we go over the stats for nerds, congratulations by whatever this name is, MVP. Good job. Congratulations by Aerodon getting MVP. Unfortunately, only 19 unit kills. It was a little close. Well, let's go over the stats for nerds. If you love stats and you like looking at these stats, don't worry, my VOD will be up and you will be able to see all these stats as we go through each one. Don't spend much time on them. They'll have to pause. Don't worry. That's why there's a VOD. And maybe upload to YouTube. Also, this guy just doesn't have a name. It's just CC underscore space. What a name. Beautiful. Now we will be waiting for the Hyperborea verse. Their team does look like both matches have ended, so I cannot go watch that. Good job. Let's do a little bit of a post-game kind of summary of how this goes. Luckily I recorded it, so I will be able to see exactly kind of what happened here. Videos. Going over how this went. I mean, this was like a standard tower denial where GTD actually did really good, pretty good artillery to break all of Copper Collectors, but Copper Collectors got a little bit sketchier with these tower denials. This middle tower, you know, this got to about 1/4 HP when it's this close to the wall. It's definitely very scary, and that was first rotation of towers, and you see that kind of persist as we went on for the other ones. Also, this tower is at 1 HP, and I don't know if this was just never communicated that, hey, also that cannon missed, womp womp. Unfortunately, there was just some artillery misfires by Copper Collectors, and it seemed like that might have been the nail in the coffin here as it went on. As you can see, this middle tower is 1 HP, Well, 2 hits really, but it does look like they do send one person, they do send a bastard sword down to try to stall it out, but the javelins just were not enough, and they did not have these other 2 javs transition fast enough to be able to break that middle tower. As you see, another poleaxe person jumps down. They just did not have the units to bring that pretty tight defense. Whoever lost the coin toss is who picked attack and defense. We're going to be a Hyboria versus Story now after we go over this. Well, once they like actually set that up. As you see with how this kind of went, it just doesn't seem like Copper Collectors really had the plan for if a tower lands, how do we defend it, right? You see that they try to do a stall here. They do a good amount of stalling by Copper Collectors, trying to get in this fight here, but it just didn't seem like their composition could really hold up. They did have the Doppelsnaughter do their Song of Silence, but really with how long this fight went on, it just was not enough. Also, GTD having the Coco in the tower throwing onto the blob fight, where Copper Collectors really only had the shoots a dinger, so this first fight was just not in favor of Copper Collectors at all. Our shoots a dinger also running away very early, but really what could they have done? Maybe could have gotten another shoot volley off, but very hard to keep your shoots up here when it's looking this grim. Our front line, our Copper Collectors front line goes down. We do have a Yorkist in from behind. Amazing plays by Kuma there, getting into the back of GTD. Dismounted Yorks doing insane damage through literally everything, going through those Madao, and having that poleaxe as a weapon nest is also very helpful for the Copper Collectors team. And it does look like he actually gets into the back, does not get to the Coco or the Ball Boys, but we do have a short sword that is able to get onto the Coco and the Rattan Vipers. So as you see, as this fight raged on, this really helped Copper Collectors to be able to get back onto this fight, no longer having to worry about a Viper poisoning or the Viper poisoning or the Ball Boy fire. As you see the thing going on, Copper Collectors doing a pretty good job stalling here as long as they possibly could, but as you can see with how this fight kind of went on, also amazing play by these Liaos going out. These Liaos going out and really halting the GTD's units coming on to the point was just not, which helped a lot for Copper Collectors, but Copper Collectors could not get the infantry on there. I believe the Spartan player was potentially the short sword on the point, so once he went down, the Spartans also were unfortunately unable to do anything, and we all know how Spartans are without their walk, that kind of like pushover unit. It's kind of really all she wrote for this matchup. Copper Collectors did stall as long as they could, but it's one by one, it just wasn't enough. They were able to stall long enough to get a good beef fight in here at the gateway, doing amazing work here. It does look like in the Apes vs DR matchup, the Apes won, so congratulations by Apes. And then on this good old B fight push here, as we saw, it does look like Copper Collectors went a little bit. Why is my... There we go. Copper Collectors going a little... Oh, right, I remember why that doesn't work. Copper Collectors going a little early here. They don't have their flank side in the fight yet. They are deploying the double comet, but they do not have any infantry there, so a little bit early for the main fight infantry to go in. As you can see, they get pushed back a bit but GTD doesn't send enough people there to fully deal with this double comet that is placed by copper collectors. But so while GTD does win the front main fight area, copper collectors does win this side area, especially with double comet going into the back of GTD. This really weakened GTD. Arcadia really weakened Arcadia down. Really weakened Arcadia down to the point where copper collectors could have won this battle back, but unfortunately, as you see at the top there, the unit trait of 1162 versus 632, they just did not have the units nor the hero lives to really be continuing this prolonged like int-in fight play style. And you can see as they go on, they do try their hardest to stall it out, but GTD gets a Liao in the back of these Yorkists, back of the stalwarts. That's really all she wrote for copper collectors, as while they do stall a very good chunk of time, but with 2 minutes left on the clock and your points already so completely enveloped, and you just have 450 units, the enemy is 1,100, even with the enemy not having any resupplies in this B fight area. They just have too many units here for copper collectors to reclaim that B point, and GTD just snowballs from that B point all the way to home. And that will be all she wrote over there. It probably would have been better for them once they realized that that tower landed to go back to B point, but they only had 2 artillery pieces left. So if, and how much time did this A capture give? It gave 3 minutes? Yeah, it gave 3 minutes. There would have been 7.5, maybe 7 minutes left on the clock, right? 7 minutes on the clock, B point. Maybe GTD only used like 1 wave of their artillery. That's 15 artillery versus your 2. Gonna be a little bit hard to still hold that B point for a 15 versus 2 as we